Hey man, Hebron Baby Loud coming back at you with another edition of this Boomer's Logic, man. I know that it's dark, no good lighting, but I had to run up here, man, real quick and get me some cleaning supplies for the house. Doing some cleaning, had a little virus going on in the house, so we doing some cleaning and deep cleaning and make sure we got everything out, the remnants of it out of there. So it's been running wild. Whatever's going on is running wild down here in Georgia. Plus it's really cold down here, unseasonably cold, so yeah, people been getting sick down here a lot. But anyway, I digress on that point. I want to make this quick video, man, while I was out about this whole T.I. situation with his son, King. And if you haven't seen it, I'll bring you up to speed on it. But before I do, if you haven't, go to the channel, like, subscribe, Boomer's Logic, Hebron Baby Loud, man, hit the bell for notification, thumbs ups, comments, all that good stuff. But without further ado, let's jump into this. So, for those of y'all who haven't seen it yet, you know, just pull it up. And I'm not going to do a lot of side-by-side critiquing the videos. I'm just going to give you, you know, my particular take on the video, and then y'all can go look it up. But this whole situation, man, his son King been out of pocket for quite a while. So last night they was at the Hawks game. No, the Atlanta Falcons game. His son got in his body about a conversation that him and his mama was having with him. And I guess they were kind of jugging at him, playing with him or whatnot. He got in his body. He ends up pushing his mom, disrespecting her first. Ends up pushing her. And T.I. had to scuff him up a little bit. If you go and watch the video, man, you're going to be amazed at how this dude is talking to his father. At least I was. So before I go into this video anymore, let me say this to you. Okay. So when I was first watching the video, first thing I did was thought about my son. First off, my son is about, I think he's 6'4", 6'5", big guy. Then I got another son who is just a street fighter, but he does MMA. He is in all of that. Then I got another son who's very athletic, right? Football player, does all that type of stuff, right? So I was thinking about them. And then I was thinking about me and my siblings, my brothers. But the first thing I thought about was my son. Now, I want to tell you about a phone conversation I had with my son one day, right? And this is how, when you grow an apple tree, to get an apple tree, you're going to get an apple tree. But you can't plant an orange tree, and I'm going to get to that in a second. You can't grow an orange tree and think you're going to get an apple tree, right? So I raised my sons and my daughters, all my children, the same way I was raised. A child should be seen and not heard. You don't have an opinion. You don't have a voice. You don't have a tongue. If you dare to try to address me in any type of way, your mama or any other adult, not just those two adults, but any other adult, after that adult gets off your behind, you owe me a pound of flesh because you embarrassed and humiliated me, and I'm going to knock your front teeth out. This was understood generationally in my bloodline until here, this current generation. But let me get to a conversation I had with my son, and I hope you watch the T.I. video. So one day, my daughter had called me and was airing out some grievances she had in regard to one of her brothers about him and his daughter, right? And his daughter was still a baby, and, you know what I'm saying, she just didn't particularly care for, you know, some of his parenting, you know, skills or whatever the case may be. His parenting practices. So she calls me, I listen to her. I told her, okay, just keep me updated. It's about the third phone call after about a month, about the third phone call. I said, man, get him on the phone, right? Because this is how I do things. If my son calls me about his sister, get her on the phone, because you need to stand on this. Whatever accusations you're making, you need to stand 10 toes down on that. If she denies it, you check her and say, yeah, you did, or this is what you said, right? So we can get to the heart of the matter. So I called him, she called him. So I called him, when I talked to him, I said, listen, I'm calling you as your father, not your guide, not your, you know what I'm saying, not your friend like we generally talk. You know, we share laughs, I crack jokes on him, and, you know what I'm saying, we have a good time. But when I tell my child Any one of my children, I'm calling you as your father right now. They get straight in line. Yes, sir. What's going on, sir? And this is how they address me. Yes, sir. And they listen. And I went in on him about how he had been doing his daughter. You know what I'm saying? And I let him know, if I keep getting these reports, man, you already know I'm going to get in this car and I'm driving down there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got you. Don't worry about it. I got you. Yes, sir. That's it. Now, my daughter said he was furious when I got off the phone, but he understands. Keep all that anger and fury to yourself until you somewhere with your siblings. Then you can air that out. You do it with me, and you owe me some front teeth. I don't care how old you get. But see, with this whole new generation, everybody wants to let their child be heard in a lot of instances. They grow up having a voice, an opinion. So when you get this child who gets 20, 25, even younger, 16, 17, 18, 19 years old, and they got a stance and they got an opinion, and you upset about it, hey, listen, check this out. Nah. You wanted an apple tree, but you put orange seeds in the ground. And what I mean by that, if you want a child to behave and perform a certain way, there's boundaries that has to be set up. My grandfather, Austin Wilson, instilled in all of us, children should be seen and not heard. And at any particular point in time you was heard, guess what? You got a nice backhand and you was told to get back in the child's place and shut your mouth. This is how we were raised, and it did wonders for us. We passed it along to our children. The only difference is our children are not passing along to their children because it didn't feel good. So now you got these defiant children, and this new thing now is to jump on your parents. I forgot to mention that. I think I mentioned it before in a previous. This is the new thing, is to jump on your parents and then go on social media and I stand on this and I stand on that. And you can't, I'm a grown man. This is what he did after him and T.I., after he pushed his mom and he got into it with T.I. Goes to social media and I'm a grown man and y'all can't tell me nothing. See, this is what my sons will never do. Ever. When I call them, I say, I'm a dad mode. Hey, this Pop's calling. Like, this is not your friend. This is your dad calling. Yes, sir. They button that thing up quick. Yes, sir. No jokes, no laughing, no kid. I tell them, they listen, and that's it. Ain't no back and forth. See, this generation is out of control because you've given them this comforter. And, oh, yeah, you can voice your opinion. And I'm a strong parent because I allow my children to voice their opinions. Now you got these wayward, out of control kids because you did not put your foot on their neck. You did not stump them into submission. People say that I go over the top, that I'm too, oh, you are too. There is no such thing as too overprotective when it comes to your woman. There's no such thing as being too dominant when it comes to your children. It is what it is. Because if you are not like this, society gonna eat your woman up. If you're not overprotective, society gonna tell your woman she can be a hoe. And if she ain't no hoe, and you don't allow her to be a hoe, oh, he got self-esteem issues. That's a toxic situation. He's not allowing you to have a threesome, or he's not allowing you to dress like a whore. There's no such thing as being overprotective. There's no such thing as being too over-domineering with your children. Once again, here's the issue that y'all face now. You don't set perimeters and boundaries with these children. Now you're faced with these issues later on, and you're trying to figure out how you got to this spot. Stomp the hell out of them kids, especially them little males. Them little black males, you got to stand on their neck, and I say that, and I stand on that. You have to control them at every point. And see, here's why women can't raise, this is why black women can't raise black men. Because you get too tired. You run out of steam, whereas in most instances, you don't really know where to challenge the young man. You just deal with every situation the same way. Every situation don't call for the belt. Some situations might call for 100 push-ups. Some situations might call for him to go outside and reconcile with whatever going on, and you know what I'm saying, and so on and so forth. Y'all deal with every situation the same. Y'all shelter them. Y'all try to protect them. Y'all give them too much. You spoil them. Now this is what you got. This is the direct result. Because he was raised by his grandmother. Yeah, they talk about it on the thing. He was raised by his grandmother. This is why I'm bringing that up. Because his father really didn't have a hand in it, because he went and lived with his grandmother, and his father had just so much other stuff and other children to deal with, and having to go back and forth between two homes. So now the grandmother completely raised him. He's totally different than all his other siblings. So he's defiant, raised by a black woman. He has black woman attributes. He's defiant. He got a big, big, big mouth. Always wanting to run his mouth. Always wanting to be tough. He acts like a broad. So anyway, once again, it goes back to what I always preach, what I always talk about. If you raise these children without putting your hands on them, this is what you're going to get. And I mean, you got to stand 10 toes down, and you can't let them breathe. This is why men do young men the way they do them. And a lot of women don't agree with, oh, you shouldn't do, that's abusive and that's abuse. No, it's not. You just don't understand. And that's what I had to tell my wife when my nephews came down here. Oh, baby, you going over the top. No, I'm not. You just don't understand. And it is what it is. But at the end of the day, this is the result that you're getting. You've seen the manifestation. Because the new thing is, the new trend, if you haven't seen it, the new trend is for these kids to jump their parents. This is what they've been doing. They've been jumping their mamas, their grandmothers. This is the new trend. So I'm not surprised that he did that to his mother. As soon as he had the first opportunity, he challenged his mother. See, he didn't challenge his dad because his dad guffed him up. You know what I'm saying? So he's that little boy, he's a broad because he was raised by dames. So this is what you got. This is who he's gonna be. A little crying, petulant child who's half a fag. Let him go. I said that before in the last video. Let that boy go, man. Let him go. Let him go. The last time when he going to jail, he talking about he gangster and this and that. Nigga, you grew up with a silver spoon in your mouth. You a gangster. Anyway, man, I'm gonna digress. That's my 2 cents, man. Where I come from, how I was raised, how my siblings was raised, this worked because there was structure and order. You know what I'm saying? There was never chaos. I could never draw back to an instance where I ever heard, except for one that me and my brother was laughing about it probably about a month ago, where I ever heard anybody get loud with my mom. Ever. Except for my brother Tony. And boy, listen, my grandfather kicked that door in. My brother Tony that window, boy, he was gonna try to kill that man. Listen, my family don't play that. Children should be seen and not heard. Children should be understand their position in the family structure, and as they get old enough, when they're able to come to the adult table, then they have limited space to, you know, give an opinion, because now they've been molded and guided. They've been given their opinion. Their morals are in place to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? They've been taught and educated in certain things and principles. They've been off the porch a little bit, so they do have a little bit that they can offer, but at the same time, when offering their opinions, if it's off the mark, now you got a table full of adults who can correct him. But this is not how we doing it. Your child is able to say whatever the hell they want to say as soon as they're able to talk, because they got an opinion too. No, they don't. No, they don't. Miss me with that. I digress on this, man. I'm gonna get on home, do my cleaning, get out in these streets, man. That's all I got to say on that. But love y'all. Pass this along, man. Pass this around. If you like this content, go to the channel, like, subscribe. Boomer's Logic, Hebron Ben Bilal. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Love y'all. See y'all on the next one.